Hey guys, this is Cosette again. But I told you that I was going to try to maybe make some other videos to just kind of talk about the things that I am contemplating, things that I believe will be of value to you, be encouraging, be empowering and enlightening, and humorous. So hopefully I can share those things with you, and we'll all just kind of grow together. But anyway, last night I had talked about the importance of self-awareness, and then I did another video talking about primordial imagery and how the imagery and the impressions from our far removed ancestors were handed down throughout our generations, and they have landed in our subconsciouses, and we use those as reference points to interpret the world around us. And so as I was meditating earlier today and thinking about the power of imagery and the power of symbols, I kind of just wanted to share with you some discoveries that I made during that quiet time. And so what I did, I was meditating on fire. And yet here I am, perfectly fine. No, so it's like meditating about fire. And in my mind, I had this image of a campfire, right? And as I'm just kind of in my quiet place and just kind of really going there, getting some peace, getting some clarity, and just some quietness in my mind, I am visualizing this campfire, and I'm alone. I'm in a forest, and it's really dark, and I'm wearing like those yellow, I can't remember what they're called, but they're kind of like construction boots, right? And some jeans. I'm going into these details because details matter. And when you're in your time of self-discovery and reflection and meditation or whatever, I encourage you to notice the details of the imagery that you're experiencing, because 9 times out of 10 it means something, right? It will support whatever the main theme is in your imagery experience, in your meditation. So basically in my meditation, I'm just kicked back and I can hear this fire. Okay, notice I said hear the fire. As I was meditating on that, it occurred to me, I thought, I don't actually hear the fire itself. I'm not hearing the flames. I'm actually hearing what's being burned up by the fire. In other words, the noises that are emanating from the fire before me, there are cracks and there are pops. It's wood and whatever else is being burned is just like releasing the heat. It's succumbing to the heat. It's succumbing to the flame. And I got really quiet and I thought about that. And it became a very powerful, transformative experience for me, in that I related it to my own life. Right now, my life is really loud. It's really noisy, just from the daily pressure of life, the things I've got going on in my own life. And I'm sure you can relate. Everybody's got stuff going on, right? And so I was thinking about how loud and how noisy my life is. And it was like, while I was praying, I'm a Christian, so as I was praying to God, it was almost like the Lord spoke to me and said, it's really, really loud, but it's because all those things that are bringing noise into your life are being consumed. Right? Good stuff. And so, in just those few moments of focusing on the image of fire and allowing my mind to be quiet and not criticizing and picking apart, why am I thinking about fire or whatever, answers came that brought peace. And that is also possible for you. My screen is jumping around because my cats are jumping around, Tamber and Talia. So they're behind me in the thick of some shenanigans. So this is not a formal thing. I hope that it doesn't bother you. I'm just going to sit here and hold my laptop. I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm just sharing thoughts and just kind of being me. So anyway, but yeah, so I hope that maybe you can carry that into and begin a practice of meditation. And if you are a spiritual person, maybe then you can carry those images from your meditation, carry them in prayer, and just see what is revealed by spirit to your spirit. And I think it'll have a very profound effect for you. So yeah, do that. The next thing I wanted to talk about tonight is I am currently reading up on Karen Horney. I think that's how her name is pronounced. Knowing my luck, it's something totally different, and I'm going to sound like an idiot doing this YouTube video. At any rate, Karen Horney, one of the earliest female psychologists, she is talking about her theory of the real self. Okay, so if you study the psychologists, you'll see that each psychologist has their own concept of self, like what self means, what it consists of, what's good for it, what's bad for it, what develops it, what hinders it from developing. And really they all have good things, good parts to their concepts of self that I agree with. And but anyway, as I was reading Karen Horney's concept of self, I wanted to read this and then relay to you some things that I got out of it. So, oh, and by the way, I am reading, this is my textbook, Theories of Personality is the class, Personality and Personal Growth, the 7th edition by Robert Frager and James Fadiman. So, if you are a psychology enthusiast, if you're a spiritual enthusiast, highly recommend this book, this college textbook. It's great. Total nerd. Okay, so anyway, Karen Horney, when she talks about the real self, the textbook says that Horney came to see the central feature of neurosis as alienation from the real self because of oppressive forces in the environment. Now, there's a lot to just that one sentence, and first I can say that I went through a very long period of alienation from myself, in that I forgot who I was because I was very much wrapped up into the identity of trying to be a perfect wife. At the time, I am divorced, but at the time, that was sort of like life goal for me, is to create happiness, make happiness, and be the perfect wife. And in doing so, over the course of 17 years, I was in this marriage environment, and I repressed all the things that I liked about myself, right? So like, I used to dance and was into some things creatively. I wrote a little bit, but once I met my ex-husband, all that kind of came to an end and got put on the back burner. And I did not return to it for nearly 17 years. And so I lost myself. Now, have any of you ever lost yourselves? And it doesn't have to be a marriage. It can be you lost yourself in parenting, and or maybe you've lost yourself in other relationships in your family. Sometimes life is just at such a brutal pace, and those of us who are empathetic, sympathetic, trustworthy, reliable kind of folks with big hearts, we're usually the ones that this happens to, right? Because we put our own needs on the back burner and we become alienated from ourselves. Now, let me just tell you this. Your real self is one of the most beautiful healing resources that you can have. Okay? Your self, your real self, you are a resource unto yourself. Okay? And it's a beautiful thing. No one can treat you, assess you, help you, comfort you like yourself. Okay? And I could say much more about that. But kind of just wanted to pause for a couple minutes and drive that home in the middle of this video, and just encourage you, if you're a mama, it's okay to come back to yourself, because when you are grounded and you are in your center, right, and you are in touch with the creative abilities, with the ideals that you hold dear, with the fun things inside you, like your personality bents and all the amazing unique qualities about yourself, when you're in touch with those things, it's very healing and it's very empowering. Because when you're in touch with yourself and you are at your center, then essentially you should be able to, barring other traumatic issues or whatever, you should be able to kind of show up 100% with your children, with your spouse, with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your parents, your boss, your coworkers. But yeah, so it'll free you to do that. It really pays to take time for you, right? And love on you, because you deserve that. And I say that to whoever is watching this video, men or women or kids or whoever. We are our most important resource. So anyway, Karen Horney goes on to say this about the object of therapy, and this is sort of like her experience with patients. And so she says the object of therapy is to restore the individual to himself, to help him regain his spontaneity and find his center of gravity in himself. I think that's just so beautiful. The real self is not a fixed entity, but a set of intrinsic potentialities. How long has it been since you have sat and thought about your potential? Think about that. You have untapped potential. Your energy level may be tapped pretty much all day, every day, because of the daily grind. But don't let that put you off from discovering your untapped potential, the potential that you have to make an impact in this life, the potential, the creative potential that you have. Maybe you like to write, maybe you like to sing, maybe you are an artist and you like to paint and you like to sculpt, maybe you are a poet, and a plethora of other things. I mean, that's art, it's kind of all encompassing, but I just want to encourage you, do not neglect your own potentiality. Acknowledge that you have it. Be intentional about, acknowledging that you have it, and take time for you and explore that about yourself, okay? And so she says, but she talks about an intrinsic set of potentialities, which include temperament, talents, capacities, predispositions, and all of those things, that they're all like part of our genetic makeup, and they need a favorable environment in which to develop. See, that's what I'm saying. It's imperative that you create space, hold space for yourself. She goes on to say that self is not a product of learning, because one cannot be taught to be oneself, but neither is it impervious to external influence, because it is actualized through interactions with an external world that can provide many paths of development. Let me see. People can actualize themselves in different ways under different conditions, but everyone requires certain conditions in childhood and beyond for self-realization. So yeah, there's another mouthful in that too. But yeah, this just kind of all circles back to maybe the first two videos that I've done, where we're talking about self-awareness, self-analysis, self-love, self-growth, self-development, and all those things. So don't let yourself, the core of who you are, all your potentialities, your capacities, your creative potentials, don't let those things become casualty of the daily grind, because it is those things that are your source, that are your resource, that yourself is a well within from which you can draw. Think about that. It is a place of replenishment. It is a place of recreation. It is a place of stillness and peace. Creativity. I don't know if I've already said that or not. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Just find that place, and don't neglect, don't put off, and don't feel guilty for making and creating space and holding space for yourself, because it's critical and you deserve it. You deserve it. Whether you think you're a bad mom or a bad person or whatever, it is through this that we heal, that we restore, and that we come to understand the bigger picture of life outside the four doors of our home or our office, or wherever we may work. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you tonight. I thought it was fascinating. I'm going to try to keep this short. I see that I've let it run kind of long. But anyway, So just carry that with you in your time of reflection. And I'd like also to ask if you are starting or have started a practice of meditation and prayer, quiet time. Let me know if you think that you're going to, or you already have started incorporating symbols and imagery into that time. And let me know what you learned from it if you'd like. I'd love to hear anything that you'd be willing to share about your meditation and practice time. And I think it would be very encouraging and empowering. And like I said, we will just grow together. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being patient with me again. And I will get back at you soon. Okay? All right. Bye.